Parent material soil forming factor is one of the first ones we look at when we're looking at how a soil forms. Now there's two types of parent material. There's mineral parent material and there's organic parent material. Mineral parent material typically is deposited by ice, water, or wind, whereas organic parent material is deposited in bodies of water where plants have grown up around the outsides of the body of water or on the bottom of the body of water. They've died and slowly filled in that body of water so that it is a relatively level area of organic parent materials. About 10,000 years ago, the glaciers left this part of North America. And so we wound up with parent materials that were deposited by ice and the forces from the ice, moving water or wind. The glaciers left behind a huge range of different landforms. They've left behind things like moraines, outwash plains, spillways and deltas, and lacustrine deposits, as well as some of those deposits have been reworked by wind or water to give us what we have today. The parent material that was left behind after the glaciers left affects a lot of things in soil formation. It affects the soil texture, what's left behind and what the soil forms on. The texture of that material is going to greatly influence the texture of the soil. The materials left behind are also going to affect the drainage of soils. Fine textured particles typically are more poorly drained than coarse textured particles. Now that's not always the case, but that's a general rule of thumb that we often go by. The texture of the soil particles as well as the minerals that are in the soil particles also affect the soil's ability to shrink and swell over time. As the soil gets wet, it's going to swell. As it dries out, it's going to shrink. The parent material left behind also affects the soil biology. It affects which organisms can live in that particular soil. If there are nutrients that are missing, some organisms will not be able to survive very well. It also affects the type of vegetation that might be there because of drainage or lack of drainage. And it will also affect whether we have deciduous trees or perhaps coniferous trees growing in that particular location. The glacial landforms that are left behind are also going to affect the topography factor. And we're going to talk more about biology and topography in another video. The parent material we have is very important because it's going to affect a lot of the properties that the soil is going to have. It also affects how quickly the soil may form, how fast we get the formation of horizons, how deep the soil gets, as well as the actual type of soil that we get is going to be affected by the parent material.